I don't know anything about cyborgs. Okay?
Like nothing?
No, nothing.
Nothing? By anything? Terminator?
Yeah, I've seen Terminator.
So
Is
what
that a
about
cyborg?
Cyborgs, you talking about like the Terminator?
Cyborgs?
मेरे से नहीं होगा मेरा वीडियो मत ले यार
साइबोर्ग क्या है साइबोर्ग
If Terminator, if you ask anybody, it's very scary.
Is it singularity? Because I'm scared of singularity.
I think it allows me to express myself.
In the idea of the body as not only a medium of expression but also as a means of experience.
human body will evolve. We have survived so far. Over a period of time we will find things and ways to perform our functions, so we are capable of doing a lot more.
Here we have the biological architecture of the body, and when you add technology to it, you can extend its operational capabilities. So the body is not seen as a site for the psyche nor for social inscription, but rather the body is seen as a structure, not as an object of desire, but possibly an object for redesigning.
I think the first word that comes to my mind is unnatural.
The human body in itself essentially is a very primitive thing right now because of all the technology that has come about. The human body, if you take it away from technology, in itself is not cannot function in that greater measure as opposed to when you combine it with the technology that we have right now. So when you look at the human body, it's essentially what it was when the early ages were, like when the humans at the early human time. So right now, and I don't think there's been much of an evolution since that time, since the past 100,000 years. There's not been much of an evolution in the human body as such. The mind, yes, has grown a lot, which has enabled us to make all of these technologies, come up with these technologies that we have right now. But the human body essentially, in the absence of these technologies, is basically a very is something that is not very evolved as such, and cannot function without these. Like in the age of today, I don't think if we take out technology and just say that okay, human race is as such without technology, I don't think we're any better than any of the other animals as such, any other species as such.
I don't think it should be experimented upon, if at all, for the benefit of the people with their consent. It shouldn't be the case that you make it a mandate that from now on you should have an embedded say microphone in your jaw, so everyone would be mandated to have that. I don't think that should be the case.
I don't know if you can call it a human being anymore, but basically a creature that is part human and part machine.
So you're aware of experiments going on in this present era?
I haven't kept up with any very recent developments, but generally I keep reading. I mean, I've heard of people who've implanted chips in their bodies to measure things, and there's a whole subculture of sorts of people who like to mess with their bodies.
Now you are head of Project Cyborg. You were a little bit of a cyborg yourself, weren't you? Just explain what happened.
Okay. Well, what I had in my nervous system, this very small implant.
Wow.
There's actually 100 very small electrodes
in that little thing.
And
it was, I can see, is that
this
a scar?
The scar there from the operation, and what surgeons did was open up and hammer this into my nervous system, like putting an electric plug in a socket. That gave a direct electrical connection, and by wires we could either plug me in to a computer, literally my nervous system, or by radio send signals from my nervous system to and from the computer.
What was the purpose of it?
If somebody who's paralysed can't move their arm but their brain is still functioning, that those brain signals could be used to manipulate an artificial arm,
Right.
possibly their own arm, but certainly an artificial arm, and then sensors from the artificial arm could be fed back so the person could actually feel what the artificial arm is feeling.
I mean, I don't know if you'll reach a point where people will be able to live indefinitely. I mean, there's people who say that will happen, but there's definitely we're going to have much longer lifespans for human beings, I think. And a lot of the body parts that fail, resulting in death, will be replaceable, I'm guessing, in the next half century or so.
This is the Bionic V3. This is key grip. This allows you to hold credit cards, bank cards, car keys, etc., etc. I'll now move to a point. Pretty self-explanatory. This one will allow me to type on the keyboards. We then move the thumb to this position and we can get a tripod grip. So picking small things up. We can then change the grip again. And this is power grip, this is for heavy things, this is for shaking hands, this is for being human. Then we have this grip here. This is one that scares children and upsets my wife. Rotate the hand here. This is trigger grip, but it can be adapted if you so wish, if you've got the guts. We have a relaxed grip. This is so that when you walk down the street, it just looks like a normal hand. You can close it a bit further if you want to. And then we have a mouse grip. This will hold a mouse, single click, double click. And they're developing this now so that you'll be able to, soon you'll be able to drag and drop.
Future of human existence. It's a tough one.
Discussing. So yeah, as long as we have control over these cyborgs that you speak of, or these extensions of body parts, I think it's fine, but not till it overwhelms you or takes.
Why is it scary?
Because these are humans who are superhumans, not humans, and they can kill you anytime they want with their hands also. X-Men, are they cyborgs?
No, they are mutants.
Well, see, that's I think that's a complicated question, and I think, I mean, the other thing is whether, I mean, there's artificial intelligence as it exists now, but there's also the question of whether it'll reach a point where your whatever machine or whatever will have self-consciousness and self-awareness, and those are deep questions that I don't think anyone has answers to right now, and those are going to be the tricky questions, I think.
In the future, we will be able to sculpt our bodies like living sculpture. Our bodies could be beautiful electronic designs that shimmer prismatically in the light, in the morning light. It could change forms. It could become a piece of marble on one hand and then totally mutate into some fluid type of luminescent, snake-like quality. After all, the body is an extension of fashion.
You can rearrange the human body and try to make humans fly, even though humans are very heavy. And some mammals fly, like bats fly, but they're much lighter. But it's an intriguing question because it brings up the issue of not just trying to take an injured human and returning them to normal, but taking a human and making them superhuman, making them go beyond.
Our future is not to try and hold back genetic engineering, but to try and use it in a way that best serves us. If our children can be more intelligent and healthier and live longer lives through altering our genetics, why would we not want to do it?
I'm not very hopeful of what will happen of the human race. Quite frankly, I think that the kind of resources that we're using right now and the kind of development that we're doing, like the kind of damage that we're doing to the earth, as opposed to the kind of development that is there in interstellar space, travel. These are like completely poles apart. So if there are any chances, from what I understand, and this is like purely based on what I know of things around me, I think that human race is going to be something that is shown in Terminator. That I don't know if there'll be a time travel, we'll be able to crack time travel or not, but something like an apocalypse is going to happen for the human race is what I think. Because there's no way that we can escape the earth right now. I know that's the bigger mission, but I don't think we'll be able to escape the earth. And before that, I think because of technology and advancement in technology taking place, I think the human race is essentially doomed at the peril of technology.
And Mr. Huxley, right off the bat, let me ask you this. As you see it, who and what are the enemies of freedom here in the United States?
Well, I don't think you can say who in the United States. I don't think there are any sinister persons deliberately trying to rob people of their freedom. But I do think, first of all, that there are a number of impersonal forces which are pushing in the direction of less and less freedom. And I also think that there are a number of technological devices which anybody who wishes to use can use to accelerate this process of going away from freedom, of imposing control.